People decide within seconds whether or not they trust you. This is why it's so crucial at your workshops, at the classes or talks that you're giving, that you build rapport, trust, and credibility immediately. And so here's some tips and strategies that I've used in giving over 300 workshops over the years and helping other professionals give over 10,000 workshops. And there's a couple key principles. Number one is using humble gratitude, just being humbly grateful that the people are there to that evening, that you get the opportunity and chance to share this information that you're super passionate about, that has the potential to transform their lives, right? And that's number one. Just really being grateful for those people, because they will respond really well to that. Now, the second thing is empathy and connection, right? When they see how much empathy you have for them, and you create connection, you will build immediate rapport and trust. And so this is how I do this. If you have a group of, say, 20 or less, it may be 22 people, you can easily go through quickly and ask the people why they're there. Now, what I like to share is I share something like this. So in just a minute, I'm going to share a whole lot more about myself and my journey. However, before I do that, I'd love to learn more about you, and if you wouldn't just mind just briefly sharing your name and why you're here tonight, so that I can best tailor the talk to your needs, right? And realize if you'd rather not share, that's totally fine. Just say pass. But remember, this is a super safe place to share, so please feel safe to do so. So when you do this, be sure to get closer to them and make eye contact. Try to remember their name, because if you can remember their name later in the talk at a pivotal point, or when you ask a question, that goes a really long way. People are blown away when you remember their name, 20 minutes into the talk, right? So that's a huge way to build rapport. Now, it's also a great time, to during the talk to make eye contact again when you remember what their problem was that they came to learn about. As they're sharing too, active listening, making that deep eye contact, nodding your head, and giving them words of affirmation in terms of validating, that they're in the right place. Hey, Mary, thanks so much for sharing. That we're absolutely going to dive into that tonight. I'm so glad you're here. Right, sharing, those types of validating information goes a really long way. Now, the next thing after you've gone through and built rapport that way is using boldness and creating intrigue, right? It's imperative that your audience has emotional certainty, that you are the person to help them solve their problem, right? So it's imperative in the beginning that after we built this rapport and some trust, and we've been really empathic, that we now are bold, right? Because they need someone to guide them. They need someone who is an expert, and they need someone who knows that they know. And so I like to say something like this after I've briefly introduced myself and some of my credentials to gain some third party credibility. I will say, uh, the reason that we get the results in this clinic, the reason that we get the results in this clinic is because we have a different approach, right? And so when we say something like this, it's bold, right? Where I'm standing behind the results that I get, the reason that we get the results that we get in this clinic, right? It's a bold statement that we get great results. It creates intrigue. Okay, what results, right? And then we say, because we have a different approach, and that's what people need. They need different, right? If they didn't need different, they wouldn't need you, and if you're not different, they don't need you. And so this is how we help create some emotional certainty that, okay, this person knows what they are talking about. They're at least confident, and now we create some intrigue, right? So that they're interested. Okay, well, let's hear about this, right? So the next thing we have to get is agreement. We have to get into agreement. And so think about the different ways that you can get into agreement with your audience. What do you guys have in common? Now, as a chiropractor, my core belief is that the body is designed to be healthy and not sick. Well, guess what? The rest of the world also believes that too, right? No one believes that the body is designed to be sick. Right? That's not logical. Maybe a few people do, but that's a vast minority. The majority believe that the body is designed to be healthy, not sick. And so we get into agreement around that, right? So now we're in agreement around that. However, there are possible objections, like to either your service, your product, or just the fact that you're giving a class that you might be trying to sell people on something, right? There's multiple objections. So we have to overcome objections early. A lot of people will try to avoid objections because it may make them feel uncomfortable. However, if we don't address objections early, right in the beginning, then you don't have a full audience ready to move forward with you. And the last thing after we've done that is provide some social proof. Right now we have some social proof with some big results, some in an area that is relevant to their problem in their lives. And so when you do all these things, when you have humble gratitude, you have empathy and connection, and you're bold to create intrigue, followed by getting into agreement and handling objections and giving that social proof, you have a really available audience, right? And that's what you need now to present the problem and to present the solution, which is you and your office, your service. All right, thanks for watching. Next time we'll dive more deeply into tonality and body language, which are also a huge piece of that and an entire workshop and presentation. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.